I'm surprised that we have not yet been accused of provoking the Black Lives Matter movement.
Russian-speaking criminals is the allegation.
That we're facing a once-in-a-century global health crisis. At the same time, the democratic values that undergird our alliance are under increasing pressure, both internally and externally.
Over a police officer and a police barricade and knocking the officer unconscious. He'd been seeking his release from jail, but the feds wanted him held, saying Samsel has a history of convictions of knocking multiple other women unconscious and an attack on his own pregnant girlfriend in 2011. Judge would not release Samsel, instead transferring him closer to home, to a state where he's wanted for other violations. But I noted this in the judge's decision, saying that
new details tonight about what may have caused the collapse and if it could happen elsewhere. We're covering it all tonight, and we begin with Stan Brock at the scene.
Tonight, urgent hours for desperate families, as round-the-clock efforts to find more than 150 people unaccounted for run into more
pretty much gone. There was really nothing anyone could do, but we still try to do what we could.
The FAA and NTSB.
Former President Donald Trump is in Ohio tonight for a rally he hopes will unseat a Republican rival. But it's his own company that could be in jeopardy with possible criminal charges just days away. Untitled reports.
Tonight, Donald Trump back on the campaign trail and in the business of political revenge. Holding his first official rally since leaving the White House here in Ohio. Ramps up his summer schedule. Criminal charges loom over his company and its longtime CFO, Alan Weisselberg. An attorney for the Trump Organization says they'll plead not guilty while calling the charges completely outrageous and describing Mr. Trump as outraged.
News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Mexico tonight, a deadly blast. A ball of fire as an oil platform explodes offshore, workers jumping into the Gulf to save their lives. One survivor saying there was nothing you could do but run. At least 4 people killed, dozens injured, hundreds evacuated. And this fire comes just as we approach the 5-year anniversary of the BP disaster. And ABC's Matt Gutman leads us off.
The inferno lighting up the Gulf of Mexico tonight. The fireball sometimes blinding. Survivors of the blast saying they took these cell phone videos. This man describing the fire as huge. We couldn't do anything but run away. Many men leaping into the water. Mexican authorities said the blast and flames have killed at least 4. Dozens more were hurt and about 300 evacuated. Pemex, the Mexican oil authority, said cruise ship-sized firefighting boats have been dousing the flames since dawn.
Declaring we have COVID on the run. So the U.S. is falling short of its goal to have 70% of adults receiving at least 1 dose of the vaccine. Tonight, 172 million people have had 1 dose, just shy of 67% of everyone 18 years and older. And that shortfall is raising fears for the unvaccinated as the Delta variant spreads across the country. Here's ABC's Ariel Resha.
Tonight, the kickoff to July 4th, what many hoped would be independence from the virus. Instead, pockets of this country are